Jen?
Remind me of that.
Oh, here's a package.
Oh.
Yeah. Apologize for being late, but just that didn't go quite as planned, but anyway. Call the meeting to order. We'll start by saying the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up, we need attendance, appointment of alternates. Obviously, we're missing a few people tonight, so if we have a motion to put Christina as a voting member, is
Make a motion to put Christine as a voting member.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, okay. You're a voting member tonight again.
Making it happen.
Yes. Approval of agenda, is there any additions or corrections? It's good as it is.
Not that I know.
Okay. They have a motion to approve agenda as presented.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, approval of minutes. We have quite a few to go over. The Board of Finance regular meeting for March 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from Board of Finance regular meeting, March 20th, 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to,
Go ahead.
make a motion for FYI 24-25 budget hearing, March 27th, 2024. Approved.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next one.
I make a motion for FY 24-25 budget workshop, March 27th, 2024.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one.
I make a motion for to approve FY 24-25 budget workshop, March 28th, 2024.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the last one.
Make a motion to approve the budget here on FY 24-25 budget workshop, April 2nd, 2024.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. That gets us through our minutes. Public participation. Anyone like to speak? Okay, that was quick. Communications, I have no anyone.
I have none.
Okay. That helps us down to monthly reports. Town financials.
I don't think there's anything new that we haven't talked about already. Things are looking fine for the end of the year. Tax collections are fine. We've only gotten half of our ECS money. The rest of it will be probably soon if it hasn't already come, but it's not in by March 31st. Unless anybody has any specific questions.
Seriously, I looked over the reports, so. Nothing. Okay, it moves us down to the Board of Education financials.
Similar to Amy, there's nothing pressing to report. We're just working on getting to the and 25 budget.
Anybody have any questions? All right. That puts us at transfers. Right here somewhere.
So it's kind of towards the front, because there's like 30 pages of support behind it,
Kind of towards.
right after the financials. You're there.
Right. Even just scroll on computer, there we are. Okay. So we have one. And it's for the police department, so do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion for approval of a transfer 121,000 from officer salary to line item police equipment.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, and I'll ask for discussion.
What?
You want to speak to it?
I guess I'll start with it's a combined, some are things we took out of next year's budget.
Mhm.
Some are new ventures like the drones, and then the IT is a new situation. That wasn't in capital.
Sure.
So. IT, we have what you call storage arrays, which basically they store all our cameras, all our information. And, the one at the police department is probably about 85% full. Cameras are taking up a lot and it's starting to give us issues. It's on its 8th year, so and the warranty's up in it. So it really makes sense for us to replace them. So, and the town one's the same age. When there is storage capacity, we're going to leave it in place, but we should replace them both because they're both the same age and it's just easier to do them simultaneously because it's more practical and we'll get a 5-year warranty with these, and then we'll be able to extend the warranty another 4 to 5, depending on what they offer at that point. The other part of the money that we're asking for is we're migrating the police's next gen software into what they call VM virtual servers. Because right now they're sitting currently on a physical server. Physical server software is not compatible with the new next gen software. So to save money in the long run, we'll just spin up some virtuals. We have to purchase SQL Server software for that, but that's part of my regular budget. We were updating that anyways. So it's about a $3,000 price to have them migrate all the server stuff onto our virtual servers. So, and everything eventually is going to go to cloud-based and let somebody else host it, so we don't have to, and it's going to go that route. We're slowly converting that way. Because it's an annual fee, but overall the cost, within the next 5 or 6 years, we're gonna have to start purchasing servers again, which are about 60,000 a piece, and then obviously we have these storage arrays, and and the prices, they were cheap when we built our system. We built 2 systems for $100,000. Now it costs us $100,000 just to buy 2 servers. So it's, we're trying to migrate more towards that with a lot more hosted. It'll be cheaper in the long run for the town because then it's less infrastructure, less stuff we have to maintain and take care of and worry about. What will the annual fees be on those things?
On what we're purchasing, the storage array,
Actually going to the cloud, I mean.
eventually going to the cloud, everybody's different. The software the tax collector uses, it's an annual fee of $500. I'm not quite sure on what the assessor uses yet because I haven't gotten that far with it, but the tax collector, we're probably going to migrate over this fiscal year. And then try to get prices and then put it in next year's budget for the assessor. The clerk, honestly, I don't know because we signed a 5-year contract with them and it was broke out. I mean, her software is, on the grand scheme of things, it's peanuts compared to a lot of the other departments. The permit software, it's built into the permit price. Permit costs you $10. They host it, it's cloud-based. So a lot of them are going more towards that. It's not tremendous, it's not like we're spending $30,000 a year to cloud, they want the information because then they have us locked in. So now when we want to go and leave or go to a different software, when we switched permitting software, it was not fun. And then they gave us our clump of information and we spent weeks trying to untangle it because it was written in this crazy code. And then, we ended up losing a lot of the photos and stuff because they just weren't attached to anything.
That was after we brought a small claims action against them.
Right.
They were holding the data hostage.
They wouldn't give it to us. So. But, with planning, all the plans and zoning, we're scanning everything, so there still will be need for storage, but not to the extent that, videos and this stuff takes up so much space. It really does. It takes up a tremendous amount of space.
So looking at this, it's called Power Vault, so it's between the hardware, which is the two, and then the service, and that's $71,600.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's about 40 hours of labor built into that price. It's included
Okay.
to actually set them up, spin them up, transfer the stuff. It's quite labor intensive and they have to be on site, so it's nothing they can do remotely.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Give you an update on equipment stuff. So, first get started here, when we realized that there was a storage issue with the IT, Joey and I got together and my salary line can support the transfer because despite my best efforts, I was not able to successfully hire people all year long. We would give them conditional offers and they would fail to make the our standards. So we're in a process of onboarding 3 people now, so we're fortunate, but it left some surplus that would be in the salary line. In addition to the storage units, we've had a drone program in East Windsor that's been put together for about 7 or 8 years now. The drone, which is the original drone, is the optics are older. They're 7 or 8 years old. Drone doesn't fly in inclement weather, and it has some restrictions. We're in the process of wanting to trade that drone out and buy 1 or 2 new drones. In addition, we're watching some legislation that's going down in Hartford. 2 things. One is a restriction of flying, which would affect us tremendously in East Windsor. In addition to what the airport restricts us to, there's some height requirements. We've had some of our law enforcement experts testify that it would be detrimental specifically to East Windsor. So we're watching that legislation. So we're hoping that we can get past that. We can still fly, just a greater restriction of what we're going to try to be doing. And I think we're going to be okay with that. Second part of that is what kind of drone. They don't want foreign drones. We have a foreign drone. For us to fly it now, it's currently grounded. We'd have to buy a piece of equipment to put on that would track it, going into like Bradley airspace or wherever it goes. It tracks the drone and it tracks the handler. That's actually working with the drone. Moving forward, a couple things that I've identified. I've been very clear that when I took over as chief, I wanted to do a SWOT analysis of the programs, what was working, what wasn't working, preserve what was going to work and change what wasn't going to work and wasn't working. We've lost the ability, although we've been successful with our drone program, we've lost the ability to fly it during certain conditions, not only weather conditions, but we only have certain operators. The operators got to take an intense course and they're actually pilots, drone pilots through the FAA. So I want to train a greater amount of people. So the fire departments and I got together and we decided that we would sort of move this, hopefully decide to move this on to emergency management. And if we have both of the fire departments have pilots that get identified, we can get more drone deployments. So when the officers it takes 2 people, 1 to fly a drone and a 1 person to watch it all the time. Well, if we only have 3 or 4 people on and 2 of them are pilots and they're going to watch it, then we're not able to do our scenes. Vice versa, the fire department's fighting a fire, they want to get a drone shot of something or bring something in or whatever, they can use the police. So if we have greater people that are trained to use the drone, police, fire personnel, we can have drone deployments. With that, we want to train some people on the fire department and we want to upgrade our drones. The drones now that they make now have better infrared and heat signature. So we would be able to see lost kids in the woods, which we've done the last 2 deployments have been to find somebody lost in the woods or missing and things like that. So that program you see is probably constitutes most of the 30 pages that the treasurer was talking about. It's a pretty in-depth, you can see it's a breakdown of our drone sergeant that did does the drone program, Sergeant Julia Knoll. She does a fantastic job. You'll have all the literature that you have in there. You'll see some of them are Chinese operated and we don't want to buy a Chinese operated drone. And I could get into the particulars. First Sergeant Bowser was there when we were going through the legislation, but they're going to ground them basically in 2025. So
The DJI one.
yes, yeah.
Unfortunately, they're cheaper and they're more superior. Their optics are more superior, but unfortunately in 2025, they were trying to move it to 2027. And there are talks of moving it to 2034, but I'm told that 2034 is a pipe dream. If I thought that they were gonna move it to 2034, we might consider a Chinese drone. I understand the whole things behind it. The Department of Justice got together and said the Chinese can, launch cyber attacks and things like that. I don't think the East Windsor Chinese drone would bring down the country, but I don't want to take a chance. So we're gonna go a different direction. So you see that part of it in there for the purchase of the drone and training.
Yeah, our company uses a lot of drones in agriculture, and I'm actually investigating how I can do it, to do spraying with
Yep.
it locally.
Yep.
But my restriction is Bradley Airport, obviously, for the
Yes.
size one I need to put up in
Yes.
the air. But our company will not purchase any DJI drones because it is
Correct.
information stored
Yeah.
on Chinese servers, so our company will not do that.
Right.
We have to go over.
And
They can
it
use Chinese drones as long as it's stored on an American server, but DJI does not do that.
doesn't, correct. So you know the ins and outs of all that. And I left some of the details
Yeah,
out because
no,
I don't
it's
want to
fine.
be here for
Totally understand.
hours. And the flight restrictions that you may find too is that they want to restrict us to be able to fly between 250 and 400. So anything lower than that would be a problem.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
Yeah, I only want to fly 20 feet, that's all I want.
Right, that's exactly
My
it.
drone is a big machine to put chemical and
Yeah.
fertilizer up there.
Right, another purchase or thing you see in there is furniture for the lieutenant's office. I had a lieutenant that was locked behind 2 closed doors, that's patrol lieutenant. I want to make another lieutenant, I want to put them both in the same office, and I want to do that because putting the supervisors in the same office and basically putting them all on the same page, and so they're hearing the same message and they're be able to collaborate better as opposed to being separated throughout the building. The room is done. The Public Works did a great job painting the room, clearing it out. It's all ready to go. There's some borrowed furniture from another office in there. So I want to be able to purchase the lieutenant's furniture, I only have 1 lieutenant, but I want to, as soon as I get the furniture and a car, I want to promote another lieutenant. That's one of the requests that's in that transfer from that. And the third one that's not supported, it's my fault. I have it sitting on my desk. I didn't bring it here. Is last year we bought rifles. We did the rifles. We're in the process of training those. The officers' only option now is to put a rifle in a soft case and throw it in their car. I don't want to do that. It's a liability. These guys go on track, something happens and they end up running, their car's wide open. Somebody comes through and they look at a patrol rifle. I don't want that on the streets. So there's a rifle rack system that we've vetted and we purchased and have installed in all of our patrol cars. That locks it in, it snaps it in. So if somebody were to be able to get into our cars, it's next to impossible to get the rifle out without damaging it. So it's a safety issue. That cost is coming in a little over 9,000 with the install. You'll see 7 there, but I can absorb that with my vehicle maintenance line. So that's the one thing that's not in there that support this line item transfer, but I literally have it at my desk and I can get it to you if you need it.
Sounds good.
Any other questions?
No. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we've had a motions been made and seconded. We've had explanations, any discussion? I think everything makes perfect sense and, drones, I'm surprised you got as long as you did out of the ones you have, so.
Well, we make the most of it.
Because there's a lot of public works flying.
Okay, so do I have I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye, okay. And opposed, none, because we all voted yes. Motion is approved for transfer request number 2032. All right, that's our only transfer for tonight. Next up will be reconciliation.
We are good to March.
Still January, our meeting is tomorrow to catch it up, so hopefully by the next meeting, we'll be up to speed.
Okay. Thank you for the updates. Jason, do you have any words of advice for us tonight?
Just a couple of things. So first of all, we're coming into negotiations for a number of things. I believe you guys have named a board of finance member for them, but we've got the police union's year 3 of their wages is open on June 18th, and I need a negotiator for that. If that hasn't been named. Police dispatchers we're coming into negotiations for, and supervisors we're coming into negotiations for. So I just want to make sure that you guys have named a representative from the board of finance for each of those.
I don't think we have for any of them. I think the last one we have left is Bill for supervisor's pension.
Yes.
Tom
Right,
for,
pension is the same thing as supervisor's labor.
I think when we appointed it as pension because we did Tom as WPCA.
Oh, that's coming up too, but I already knew you were on that one.
There's more beyond that.
Yeah. So no, I don't think we've appointed anybody to any of them.
If you guys could add an agenda item to do that, that would be particularly helpful.
So
And
it's
the
police,
police
Dispatch.
dispatchers and supervisors.
Okay.
And the other thing that I would just flag, just as a general FYI, date is not 100, or the time is not 100% certain yet. But it looks like we're gonna have the groundbreaking for the community center on May 6th, at 1 o'clock at Scout Hall. And I believe both United States senators will be here for that, both Blumenthal and Murphy. As well as the director of USDA Rural Development for Southern New England. I'll know the details for sure by the end of the week, but I think it's gonna be at 1 o'clock. The date is for sure. The time I believe is gonna be 1 o'clock.
Thank you. Patrick, you have updates for us.
No real updates. We're on school break right now. Really the only thing taking place is, school sports. Our high school, boys baseball team does play at, the Argoat Stadium, Thursday at 3:30. Anyone's around and, wants to see them play, there. So that's always the experience. And we're just looking into, the final couple months of, school.
All right. Move on to new business. And letter A would be appointment of auditors.
so we've already picked them as part of our RFP last year.
Yep.
But we just need, every year we have to appoint Mahoney Sable.
Do I have?
Then I have to do it on the state website.
You have a motion to approve Mahoney and Sable as our auditors for 2020.
23, 24.
Make a motion to appoint the, what's the name?
Mahoney Sable.
Mahoney Sable, butter for 23-24 year.
That was second.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? And this is under contract, so it's year 2 of 3.
Yep.
Okay. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Board of Finance budget mailer approval. Here. Does anyone have any additions, corrections, comments, complaints? Mhm. That's pretty much formatted after last year's, just number changes, really.
Yep.
It's worked in the past, and hopefully people will read it and understand where we're coming from, and
I guess I need a motion to approve that so I can send it to the printer.
okay, we have a motion to approve the budget mailer.
Make a motion to approve the budget mailings to be sent to the printer.
Second, thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion opposed, motion carries. June meeting date is in here,
Juneteenth,
Juneteenth.
it's our meeting.
Oh, and that's a holiday, huh?
Is it though?
I don't know, do I mean, is it a town holiday or not? I don't know.
It is not a recognized town holiday. It's a contractually recognized town holiday, but it's not something that's. We don't have a local ordinance or anything established.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the date. I don't know if anybody else.
I think there's a requirement that you can't have meetings on holidays. I think it's an
If you want to
FOI.
change it, that's fine. I'm not sure that's accurate.
Well, we better not get ourselves in trouble, so. So what are we thinking? Oops. Upside down, it's not gonna work. So June. Is there dates that?
Well, you guys have the 16th, right? Are you a Wednesday or a Tuesday? Oh, so you're a Wednesday, so that's fine. So maybe the 16th. We could do,
16th is.
or the 18th.
Say
that-
18th.
There's a second to Sunday.
Yeah, but,
The
we
18th,
don't have any board meeting because of high school graduation.
is it actually on the 18th?
No, no, sorry, right here. What's, oh no, we're the week before graduation, sorry. Graduation's the week before.
So it looks like June 18th would work.
June 18th will work. Let's post it and go with it.
Yeah.
Go from there.
I think I need a motion for the.
Yeah. All right, so do I have a motion to move our June meeting to the 18th instead of the 19th?
Make a motion to move our June 19th meeting to June 18th at 7 P.M.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting is moved, to June 18th. Next up, unfinished business.
Do you want to do the new
Yeah.
appointing as under new business?
Yeah, we can do that. Of course, we don't have. the numbers that's here.
We need a motion to
Okay, yeah, do I have a motion to add
appointments.
appointments to negotiating teams to the agenda?
Make a motion to add, what was it, approve,
Appoint
Negotiators.
negotiate.
appointed negotiators to the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Alrighty, that leaves the discussion part. Oh, there is none probably, that one. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, so now we have you have three different ones here, police, dispatcher, and supervisors.
Yep.
Alright. Hmm. Any volunteers? I'll ask for that part first. I don't think so.
What do you know?
So the way the negotiation process works is, both sides, well, the town side, which this representative from the Board of Finance would be on, typically caucuses up with our total negotiating team, usually once, and we go through the contract. Kind of workshop any proposals that we're going to advance, and then develop a strategy through the negotiating team spokesperson, which is the town attorney. As to, how we're gonna approach the negotiations in whole. Then we go through and then we negotiate dates to start actually sitting across the table and exchanging proposals, and then kind of haggling over the proposals from either side. They can take anywhere from realistically 2 sessions to 6 or 8 sessions, and they can be anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours a clip generally, and all of which is agreed to ahead of time. You negotiate something called ground rules and determine how many sessions each party has to introduce new items, how long each session will be, how frequently they'll be, all that stuff, so that there's an understanding of all parties involved as to what the negotiations will look like. But typically they could be, I think the longest one I've been in, we've been 6 meetings. That could be over 1.5 years though, because scheduling becomes quite difficult and you have a large group of people that to get together. We typically try and do negotiations during working hours, but there is some flexibility around that. So for example, we're doing the WPCA pension now, we start those at 3:30, so if Tom Lansner were doing the WPCA pension, we probably start those at 10 in the morning. So there's some flexibility around that based on people's needs and availabilities. That answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Just now you make me feel bad.
It's no big deal. We're done with that one anyway. And actually, that was one session. And all that's left is for one side to capitulate to the other.
Myself personally, I am out until June. I'm in July. I can do anything after July 1, but with spring planting season and all that, I have 0 time. So if there's anything in July beyond, it can be a possibility.
We don't know start times around either or any of the 3. I will tell you, the police union, they have a reopener date, not before June 18th. And that's in case this year we went to 3 budget cycles, there was some consideration for that. That said, both sides could decide to start those sooner. My intention would be not to do them first. So I think that one would be a safe one for you to do most likely.
All right, so I have no problem taking care of the police side. I can do that one if it's, as long as it's pretty much after July 1, I can make myself available. So that would leave dispatchers and supervisors.
Police dispatchers is a little bit of a wild card. They just changed, the bargaining unit just changed from an AFSCME affiliate to a Teamsters affiliate. And we've never dealt with Teamsters before. In fact, their union representative today was trying to figure out how the demand to negotiate process works. So that was a surprising development considering
They still haven't figured out how to pay their dues yet.
I have an answer for you on that.
Okay.
There's a reason for that.
Okay.
That one is gonna be a wild card. I have no idea what to expect from that because we've never dealt with the union, that particular union before. At the corporate level, I think.
Gotcha. So we have a volunteer for the dispatchers. Of course, we have two members that aren't here, but you available?
Yeah.
There you go. We got our dispatcher. And the last one's the supervisors.
Well,
I'm not saying, I'm just looking your way.
Well, I mean,
I don't, when,
I don't, well, I'm an alternate. Can I do it first and then second? I'm working till like 5. That's my thing.
I mean, I can come later, earlier afternoon if that's the case.
I mean,
We can aim for a 3 o'clock start time. That's not,
Yeah, I can just take a day off. I got plenty of time.
Okay.
So I have to.
there you go.
all right, so I've got Simon for police. Lansner for dispatchers and Talamini for supervisors.
I need to start earlier. I can help or if anything changes. I'm sorry, later. I can do it.
Keep that in mind.
There's plenty of time ahead. There'll be plenty more.
There's typically 2 of these a year is how we try and do them. Sometimes they get a little jammed up on each other, but clerical will be up again next year, I think. And so will police. Police one's interesting.
So, we have our volunteers, so that finishes new business. We'll move on and look at unfinished business, and I think I'm listed, we pretty much accomplished everything. Next, we board member comments. If you want to say anything to say, we've talked a lot recently.
I just hope people will read the mail.
Yeah,
It'll be a really nice thing.
all right, upcoming meeting dates, May 14th is the budget referendum, and our monthly meeting will be May 15th. So, and with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Take a motion to adjourn.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Right.
Opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you, and again, my apologies for being late.
Like,